he chasteneth, and scourgeth every son whom he receiveth. Hebrews the 12:6. They told you God was gentle. They said he comforts. They never told you he crushes. They never warned you that his love burns before it blesses. Because his wrath is not hatred, it is holiness in motion. He does not destroy to destroy. He destroys to rebuild. And the chosen always learn this the hardest way. Behold, happy is the man whom God correcteth. Therefore despise not thou the chastening of the Almighty. Job 5:17. You thought the blows were from enemies. You thought the betrayals were random. But every strike that landed was allowed, not by cruelty, but by care. Because before God can trust you with his glory, he must teach you how to survive his wrath. His correction doesn't come with warnings. It comes with weather. He shakes the ground beneath you until the false gods you built collapse. He burns the idols you didn't know you worshipped. He tears down the version of you that still depended on flesh. As many as I love, I rebuke and chasten. Revelation 3:19. Every storm you cursed was his sculpting. Every loss was his lesson. When you cried, "Why, God?" he whispered back, "Because I love you too much to leave you soft. You were not punished. You were prepared. He didn't throw you into fire to destroy you. He was boiling out your impurities. The heat you felt was not his anger. It was his investment. Thou hast proved mine heart. Thou hast visited me in the night. Thou hast tried me, and shalt find nothing." Psalm 17:3. His wrath builds what comfort never could. Comfort raises consumers. Wrath raises kings, because only wrath forges reverence. Only pressure teaches humility, and only pain teaches obedience. When God loves you, he won't let you stay weak. He will take your pride by force. He will strip your comforts one by one, until the only thing left standing in your life is faith. Before I was afflicted, I went astray, but now have I kept thy word. Psalm 119:67. He will turn your comfort into chaos if it keeps you dependent on yourself. He will wreck your plans if they block his purpose. He will allow pain to stalk you until your prayers turn from "give me" to "make me." That's what his wrath does. It remakes you. And when it's done, you won't fear it anymore. Because you'll realize his wrath and his love were never separate. They were the same hands, in two different temperatures. The world fears his anger, because they don't understand his intention. But the chosen learn, his wrath doesn't kill, it creates. He doesn't pour fire to erase you. He pours it to refine the metal hiding under the flesh. For thou, O God, hast proved us. Thou hast tried us, as silver is tried. Psalm 66:10. When you stood in that storm, trembling, screaming for rescue, he was standing inside it, shaping your strength. He wasn't punishing you. He was building his image inside your ribcage. He was chiseling heaven into your bones. That's why you walk differently now. That's why your silence carries power, because you've been struck by something divine and survived it. The Lord will perfect that which concerneth me. Psalm 138:8. The chosen are built by wrath. They don't come from ease. They come from exile. They don't come from applause. They come from ashes. And when the world sees them rise again, they don't see the war that built them. They only see the weight they carry. You were never meant to understand his wrath while it was happening. You were only meant to survive it. Because one day, when you stand on the other side, you'll look back at every painful thing he did and say, That was love in its truest form. The wrath that built me was mercy disguised as thunder. It tore my ego apart, but built my eternity. It ruined what I wanted to save what I needed, and I would not trade his fire for the world's peace, because his wrath made me real. Whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth. Hebrews 12:6. It is of the Lord's mercies that we are not consumed, because his compassions fail not. They are new every morning. Great is thy faithfulness. Lamentations 3:22-23. You should have fallen. You should have died in that season. You should have stayed bitter, broken, or gone. But something unseen kept holding you. Mercy, not muscle, kept you alive. It wasn't your discipline that saved you. It wasn't your strength that carried you. It was mercy. Quiet, stubborn, relentless mercy. The same God who let the storm rage was the same one who shielded your soul inside it. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. Psalm 23:6. You thought he was silent while you suffered, but he was standing in the smoke, whispering, "Keep breathing." You thought he abandoned you, but every time you should have been crushed, mercy stepped in and said, "Not this one." You see, his wrath built you, but his mercy carried you when you couldn't walk. He fought for you when you didn't even have the faith to pray. You didn't hold on to him. He held on to you. And every scar you wear now was carried through fire by his grace. The Lord is good, a strong hold in the day of trouble, and he knoweth them that trust in him. Nahum 1:7. Mercy is the soft side of God's power. It doesn't always remove the pain, but it wraps you in endurance to outlast it. It doesn't always open the prison door, but it sends peace into the cell. There were moments you cursed heaven, and he still protected you. There were nights you wanted to quit, and he still kept your heart beating. There were seasons you walked away, and he still walked beside you. Because mercy is not based on worth, it's based on love too deep to measure. The Lord is gracious and full of compassion, slow to anger, and of great mercy. Psalm 145:8. When wrath stripped you, mercy clothed you. When discipline cut deep, mercy bound the wound. When pain blinded you, mercy became your guide. That's the rhythm of the divine. Wrath builds, mercy balances, judgment hardens, compassion heals. He breaks your bones, then teaches them to dance again. You didn't make it because you were righteous. You made it because he refused to let you die unfulfilled. He carried you through a hell of his own making, not to harm you, but to harden you against harm. The Lord upholdeth all that fall, and raiseth up all those that be bowed down. Psalm 145:114. Mercy was there in every near miss. In every moment, the darkness almost won. When the enemy demanded your soul, mercy raised its hand and said, "Paid in full." That's why you don't brag about survival anymore. You whisper about it with reverence. You know you didn't walk out of that furnace alone. You were carried through it, held by a love fierce enough to break and gentle enough to rebuild. He hath not dealt with us after our sins, nor rewarded us according to our iniquities. Psalm 103:10. Mercy didn't erase what wrath built. It completed it. It stepped in after the storm and said, "Now rest." Because wrath was never meant to be your end. It was the introduction to grace. And when you look back on your life, every season that made no sense, every heartbreak that nearly ended you, you'll realize there was a pattern all along, a holy contradiction, a God God who corrected with fire but comforted with arms. The wrath built me, but mercy carried me. Wrath broke my pride, mercy rebuilt my peace. And when I couldn't stand, he stood for me. His anger shaped my backbone. His grace softened my heart. I was struck down to learn strength and lifted up to learn love. Now I know I was never walking alone through the flame. Wrath walked beside me. Mercy carried me home. It is of the Lord's mercies that we are not consumed. Lamentations 3:22. Thy gentleness hath made me great. Psalm 18:35. When I look back now, I see it clearly. How his fire built me, but his grace kept me human. If he only used wrath, I would have hardened beyond repair. If he only gave mercy, I would have stayed soft and unready. But together, they made me whole. Wrath forged the weapon. Grace taught it restraint. Wrath raised the warrior. Grace crowned him king. Wrath taught me to fear God. Grace taught me to love him. The Lord is righteous in all his ways and holy in all his works. Psalm 145:17. There is a point in every chosen life where you stop asking, why me? And start whispering, thank you for choosing me. Because the pain was not random, it was precision. The storms didn't destroy you. They stripped you of everything false, so that truth could finally live in your bones. You were not made through blessing. You were balanced through burning. You were not simply healed. You were humbled through hurt. And now you stand, unshaken, unafraid, understanding both sides of the flame. He maketh sore and bindeth up. He woundeth, and his hands make whole. Job 5:18. You once thought love and wrath were opposites. Now you know they are partners. Wrath tore open your shell. Grace filled what was left with light. Wrath taught you reverence. Grace taught you rest. Together, they sculpted something indestructible. A soul that knows both sides of God and bows to both. When you've been in his fire, you stop chasing comfort. When you've been held by his mercy, you stop fearing correction. Because now you understand. The same hand that strikes also saves. The same fire that burns also blesses. He shall sit as a refiner and purifier of silver. Malachi 3:3. Look at yourself, warrior. You carry the memory of heat, but also the scent of heaven. You speak softly now, because you've learned that power isn't noise, it's knowing. You don't argue with fools because wisdom taught by fire has nothing left to prove. This is divine balance, not perfection, but peace between opposites. Wrath built your bones, mercy mended your heart, and now you move like a storm wrapped in calm. Holy rage with a gentle spirit. The Lord will perfect that which concerneth me. Psalm 138:8. You've become what every trial was trying to create, a living paradox of heaven's design. You are both scarred and sacred, both humbled and honored, both warrior and worshiper. And when you walk now, creation recognizes you, because you carry the mark of both fire and grace. Every king God ever forged had to walk this road. Every prophet had to taste this duality. It's the mark of the chosen, the ability to burn and bless in the same breath. Mercy and truth are met together. Righteousness and peace have kissed each other. Psalm 85:10. You are the kiss between them now. You are the balance, not perfect, but purified, not stainless, but sanctified. You have walked through judgment, and you have been carried by compassion. And somehow, you survived both. The wrath made you worthy of the weight. The mercy made you fit to carry it. You were built by his fire and carried by his love. And now you walk as proof that both are holy. I was built by his wrath. I was carried by his mercy. And now I live by his balance. The same hand that broke me now blesses me. The same voice that thundered now whispers my name. I no longer fear the fire. I am what comes out of it. Let the world call me scarred. He calls me refined. Let them call me hardened. He calls me holy. The furnace was my crown. The mercy was my throne. And now I walk between judgment and grace, as one of the few who truly understands both. Thy gentleness hath made me great. Psalm 18:35.